Justine Greening tears into Heathrow expansion plans and warns poison pill clause means taxpayers will be left with a bill if it goes wrong as the PM braces for a Tory rebellion. An ex-cabinet minister today tore into Theresa May's plans to expand Heathrow Airport, warning that taxpayers could be left with a hefty bill if the project goes sour. Justine Greening said the plans include a poison pill clause which leaves the government carrying all the risk of deal. The ex-education secretary, whose Putney constituency in West London is vehemently opposed to the third runway, confronted Mrs May about the plans in PMQs. But the PM hit back, insisting the cost of the project will be funded by the private sector alone. Mrs May is set to face a backbench rebellion when the plans to build a third runway are voted on in Parliament. Boris Johnson is among the Tories who has loudly opposed the proposal, and it is expected he will be sent away abroad on Foreign Office business when the vote takes place. Here are some of the alternatives to expanding Heathrow Airport which have been put forward. Don't do anything. Some say Britain should stop fueling endless airport growth. But critics warn that not increasing UK airport capacity will harm trade. Boris Island, one of the more eye-catching suggestions. Boris Johnson has suggested a floating airport built in the Thames estuary should be built. This would mitigate issues of noise, air pollution and space would all be mitigated. It would also provide the chance to close Heathrow entirely, solving the problem of noisy flight paths that have plagued West London and allowing new development of the area. Expansion of Gatwick or Stansted. Fewer people live near Gatwick and Stansted airports, meaning that airport development will be far less controversial. Combine Gatwick and Stansted into a super hub airport. High-speed rail links could join the two airports, providing a super hub that would eliminate the need for Heathrow to be London's main hub airport. Increase capacity at local airports. Regional airports elsewhere in the UK have more spare to build on. These could be expanded, eliminating the need for a large hub airport. Raising the issue in PMQs, Ms Greening branded the project the worst kind of nationalisation. She said, Heathrow played an absolute blinder with the DfT, Department for Transport. They are a privately owned company that now has DfT policy to give them an active monopoly status. They have somehow managed to get a poison pill clause agreed by the DfT that means the taxpayer has to cover all their costs if things go wrong. Isn't this the worst kind of nationalisation? The public sector and taxpayers owning all of the Heathrow downsides and risks and the private sector owning all of the upsides and financial returns. But Mrs May said the plans to build a third runway at the West London airport will bring much-needed jobs to the country. She said, yesterday's decision to support Heathrow expansion demonstrates this government's commitment to delivering the jobs and major infrastructure that this country needs to thrive. But the airport expansion will be fully financed by the private sector. The statement of principles is clear that it does not give Heathrow Airport Limited the right to claim any costs or losses from government should their scheme not proceed. After the long-delayed airport expansion finally received government approval, the PM today said the plans will be brought to Parliament to be voted on in a timely fashion. Transport Secretary Chris Grayling confirmed yesterday that the third runway project had at last been given the green light. MPs will vote on the plans within 3 weeks. The runway is expected to cost £14 billion and be running by 2026. It will deliver at least 260,000 extra flights a year, giving Heathrow the capacity for dozens of new routes to trade hubs and tourist destinations. Mr. Grayling confirmed there would be a 6.5-hour period at night when flights would be banned, to protect residents living in the flight path. Up to £2.6 billion will be spent by the airport on compensation for residents, noise insulation and improvements to the local area, he said. He argued that the runway would provide an estimated £74 billion boost to the economy over 60 years and better connect the UK to the world with an extra 16 million long-haul seats available by 2040. It will also provide more flights to regional airports. But a strong of Tory MPs, including Ms Greening and Richmond MP Zac Goldsmith, have been vocally opposed to the scheme.